Today, I am here with a very special featured guest, Ali Mang. Let me tell you about this absolute celebrity. She is an actor. She is a producer. She is a 3-time author and a home shopping network host who has been a successful entrepreneur for, well, more than 30 years. We won't go into that any further. The nature of her entrepreneurial work means that she has auditioned, she has interviewed, and pitched well over 600 times in her career to get work within the entertainment world and to gain corporate clients as a producer. She knows all too well the paramount importance of having to be 100% on your game and the pressure that comes with that. She is a multi-million-dollar shopping channel on-air sales expert. What a mouthful. In an environment where the pressure to produce sales results is measured by the minute, or else you're out of a job. And to do all that, she is also a talent manager. So today, Ali, how are you?
I am so great, Fred. Wow, what an intro, my friend.
Well, you got a great intro. Now, today, we're going to talk about, are you looking for a job right now? Have you been downsized? Now, we're going to do this by talking about her book, Your First Moment Earns You More Moments. Now, this is a very important book because, well, Ali, tell us, what does that title mean? Your first moment earns you more moments.
Thank you, Doc Fred. You know, your first moment really comes down to that first handshake, that first presentation, the first time you enter a room. It is everything about that first moment, and it goes way beyond the first, image that you are captured. But that first moment, if you capture it, then that earns you more moments. So it talks really to the totality of everything you do on a professional level. And we're going to talk on profession today specifically, but of course, let's be honest, our personal environment also plays a huge factor in our own preparations. But the title is specific, and it's all about success begets success. And I think it's a principle that can be applied to young and old, the veteran or the newbie. If we know how to stand out and be the best that we can today, that first moment will earn you more moments, will earn you more opportunities.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I always love to ask authors this question. What was the motive behind writing this book?
I love that you asked that question. It was out of necessity.
Oh, really? So what was the necessity?
Yes, indeed. And it was my necessity. And in your introduction, thank you so much for that gracious introduction. I have pitched. I have had to interview and audition in front of huge panels of people. One guy with a camera who has a coffee mug who's just basically editing whatever video audition I've got, and that'll be sent to the guys in L.A., but I have to bring out all the stops in that 1 minute that I get to make them think, wow, let's see her again. Let's give her a call back. Let's give her the job. Let's give her another chance. And my frustration, I found out that I was not alone. And the principles of that can be applied to any industry. I certainly bring attention to what I do, which is on-air selling, which, as you said in your introduction, success is based on the minute. It's not by the day or the month of sales. If you're not tracking $10,000 a minute on some of the largest shopping networks in the world, they'll give you 3 more minutes. If you're not tracking $30,000, give or take a few thousand, you're gone, and you may never be asked back because you're not making the sales. Now, that's a pressure to perform. That's a pressure to think, okay, what are the most important things I can say and bring to the stage so that people will continue to say yes? And that's where the title, Your First Moment, earns you more moments.
Yeah, but I think it's even broader than that, okay? From my experience, and I'm sure for our audience out there, it's really about you're always out there selling yourself. I don't care whether it's in business. I don't care if it's with the family. I don't care with friends, okay? The only way you build relationships is be able to sell yourself. And the fact is, and tell me if I'm wrong, the fact is, unless you give a reason to buy, you can't sell ice to Eskimos.
I love that, and I agree wholeheartedly. And you're tipping on something that I would like to go, and I do know it's one of the reasons why you personally are so successful, while your program is so successful, is you are a real person. You talk like a real person. You don't have all these anecdotes, and you give us the nuts and bolts of what is going to make this day better than yesterday. And I think that you talk about building the relationships. You're doing it right now by just chatting and making sure that your programming is relatable to all of us, regardless of our bank account or regardless of our age or stage in profession. And, that's the principle of success, and you are 100% doing that.
Yeah, and I know, my experience is, okay, that we spend, and tell me if I'm wrong here too, we spend so much time talking, we don't listen, okay? You talk about being on the home shopping network and selling whatever the products are. And, if those phones aren't ringing, you're in trouble. And we know that, okay? So, my point is you're not just selling a product. You're trying to get people to understand, okay, what the value is. Okay, because people don't buy products, they don't buy service, they don't buy people, they buy value. And if you can't come up with your value for yourself, for other people, you're not selling anything.
You have got that completely right. And it actually makes me think of a strategy that I trademarked a few years ago that I use on the shopping channel when I'm training people to put their pitches together. I'll get to that little anecdote in a bit, but it's called the Lilypad Strategy. And, it's a great image of a lily pad because on the surface, it looks simple. You've got a slick, beautiful surface that's strong, that's just floating effortlessly, but underneath is the roots. Underneath is all the due diligence and all the work that you've done in order to look like, it's just so easy and you're pitching so, And so the Lilypad Strategy has 7 elements to it. And it goes with what you've just talked about. Hook 'em is number 1. So what is it going to be that it's going to ignite people's interest for that first few moments? Now I got to earn more moments. So then I have to fulfill their need. I have to think about why they would be interested in what I'm talking about. And, I think about that very carefully, and I come up with a bunch of different options for them in a way that's meaningful to them. The focus is always about the customer, and I know you know that from your years. Then you got to illuminate the experience. Then you have to rise above their objections, and then rise above the apathy, because objections is one thing, but apathy is a whole other thing. Why should I care about what you have to say? So as the person who is conveying the message, you have to think about all these things. Then, of course, as you said right from the beginning, you've got to ask for business. You've got to find a way as a call to action. And then finally, say thank you. And so many of us forget to say thank you. And that's a huge, huge one.
Yeah, and I think, those are all those great points. And, I'm laughing because when of course, I've been coaching thousands of people over the past 20 years. Okay, and my biggest laugh is, okay, that soon as someone says no or doesn't agree with them, they walk away. They don't understand, because they all take it personally. They all think, well, they're refusing you, they're denying you. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got to do with the fact you didn't give them value. So you don't walk away and say, oh, well, sorry, we couldn't do anything for you. The next question is, why not? You don't see the value in this? What's the value? It's called open-ended questions. You know this, okay?
Oh,
it's
I know
open-ended questions. Every time you give a question, they say yes, they say no. It's like they're not listening because they don't care what you got to say. But if you say, okay, wow, you don't seem to be interested in this. Can you give me an idea why? Because, not because I want to sell it to you, okay? You don't tell them that. You say, because I want to know how I can do a better job the next time with someone else, okay? And you know what? My experience is everybody wants to give you their opinion. Everybody, it's that old adage that everybody's got opinions are like you know what. Everybody's got one, okay? And soon as you say, gee, I'm not sure, would you tell me? All of a sudden, they're telling you what you want to hear, and if you're listening properly, you can use it to make the sale, can't you?
You can, but I'm going to add, I'm going to say yes, full stop, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Here's the interesting element with my stage, if you will, of the home shopping world, is I don't get a chance to even ask them. I don't get a chance to see them. I don't know the color of their eyes. Right. I don't know if they're a rural customer or they are living in the most urban setting. So my job even more is, as Jesse illustrated, my job is not, I've got something you want. It's all about what can I do to help illuminate? Yes. If you're clearly interested in whatever, category we're discussing. So now it's my job to illuminate, how it is going to add value. Is it going to make the life easier? Is it going to make you look prettier? Is it going to make you all those fabulous things? So the imagination comes into play. And I do think that that's a huge element that particularly young salespeople, or if you will, young people in the workforce, we forget to use our imagination. We go through and we follow rote and we wonder, why is this not working? Because you're not connecting. And connection through absolute, genuine relationships is my version of what the secret to success is. It's connecting on a human level that is genuine.
Yeah, and that is that old adage of you got to know your audience. Now, on TV, it's tough, okay? You don't know who is listening, just like this show. It goes out to 142 countries, over 4 million people weekly, okay? I don't know who's listening, okay? I can't possibly, but for the people who I know listen, I know what they listen to. I know why they stay on the show the 30 minutes, and that's made the show a 3-time 5-star hit, okay, because people stick with the show, and they come back with the show. Why? Because I try to understand, and you even said this about the show earlier, okay? It's about understanding your audience. Who are they out there? What do they look for? No, you can't do that on the Home Shopping Network, but I make you bet the Home Shopping Network, because of the products it offers, has done all the demographics, and if you spend the time to figure out what the demographics are for each of the products you're selling, that's how you hit them, because you know your audience.
You got it 100%. It's interesting. Just for illustration purposes, I am going to say what you did right now within my Lilypad strategy that I created and trademarked. You did rise above objections because you talked about why people are listening. And then you did rise above apathy. Why should I care? Why? Because this is what happens. People tune in and stay for that 30 minutes because they know they're going to be surprised. They know they're going to get nuggets of information. And so you just proved that is a huge part of a full, great pitch. It's exciting, and that's why I love working with professionals and people with way more experience than I do, because it's fun to learn from everybody. It's just great. I also wanted to talk, just to go off what you had said, it's another strategy I created called diet. Now, we all hate that word, diet.
I'm only laughing because I'm on one right now.
Aren't we all
I'm trying to lose 10 or 15 pounds. So I'm going to the gym and working my butt off, okay? And I'm trying to stop eating half of the food that I eat. I tell you, it's tough. But talk about diet.
Well, I was just going to say my husband and I call it the desantification after Christmas.
Okay.
Anyway, diet stands for, and you were talking about due diligence and knowing who your customers are. You can't be selling grand pianos if you're in a zoo.
Yes.
And people are there looking at animals and interested in nature. You clearly have not done your due diligence. You're not in the right arena to be selling what you've got. So the due diligence is important. So the diet stands for define. Define your customer. Define their competitors. Define your competitors. Define everything you possibly can about the product, about the people, about your customers, etc., and ask all those questions. And once you get a full picture of that definition, if you will, it all of a sudden will inspire action. If you have to share your findings with others in a department, all of a sudden you're inspiring them to think, because the due diligence and all the definitions and defining has been so clear, it kind of starts to fall into place. And then you get to, well, I'm inspired, I understand, here's a principle, here's what we're going to do, we're going to grab these people, we're going to create this ad, we're going to do this. Now you're executing. You're executing excellence because you have defined it so well and so simply. And then what you need to do, the final T, which to me is the most important when it comes to any business, regardless of what you're doing, it's trust. Trust in the work you've done. Trust in the fact that your due diligence has been exceptional. Trust in the fact that your customers will show up because you are so clear on what you want. Sometimes with customers, I think you just have to paint the picture of who is this person who's going to buy my product. That helps a lot, and it helps a team particularly.
Excellent. So why does this book, your first moment earns you more moments, why does that stand out amongst the myriad of books out there? We got more experts than we got what, okay, that I'm not so sure they're so expert, but, why does your book excel above all the others?
Well, I think that's a great question, and right now you're forcing me to overcome objections, which is part of the Lilypad Strategy. I think it's simple. I know that I want a short book. I want something that gives me answers if I just read a few pages and gives me some inspiration for the day. The book is very, it's bottom line, but it also encourages you to be imaginative. The full title of my book is actually Your First Moment Earns You More Moments, Stand Out in Today's Job Market. And that's really what we've been talking about this entire time. Stand out in today's job market by becoming the best, by being the best today. And so the book is all about inspiration. I asked Mark Mccoy, who is an Olympic gold medalist who won the 110-meter hurdles at the Barcelona Olympics. He actually is a Guinness Book of World Record holder as well, and he still holds that. And I asked him to do the foreword because I thought it was so interesting to have a hurdler come and talk about how did he win the gold medal. And the foreword is exceptional because it was his fourth Olympic Games. He had no business being there. He was the eldest, and it was the toughest arena of competitors ever driven. And his foreword is exceptional because he talks about, I changed my team, I got focused, and I went way beyond what I had ever done. I literally did become the absolute best.
Yep. That's what it's about.
It is what it's about. And so I remember when you and I were talking off air a few weeks ago, and I said, really, the way to stand out is just be the best. And here's another fun little quote. Elegance is not about being noticed. It's about being remembered, and that's Giorgio Armani, which is just so fabulous. A great designer who says that. But, it's about being noticed, but more importantly, it's about being remembered, of course, for the right reasons. And then you and I get into the whole social media aspect of the totality of your business. And, you can really make or break your career by posting inappropriate things.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Our president-elect has shown that, but that's another story. Okay. So lastly, our most important question. What do you think are the most challenging issues that young people are facing when finding work today?
World competition. We're not competing against the 200 people who are sitting in the corridor waiting to have that second meeting. We're competing against the world. So it's another call to action, to find ways to become a standout professional. Figure out what's inside you that gives you power, that gives you excitement, because if you have that nugget, you will be focused, you will be interested in learning more, you will be interested in connecting with the right people and understand how to leverage your position. And this principle applies to someone just coming out of university, as it does in someone in their 50s who's been downsized but still wants to be vital in the professional world. This book does apply to everybody, and there's lots of stories about great examples of people who are doing exactly what I'm talking about, young and old. So it's very relatable.
Excellent, excellent. So let's do a quick recap here, because we've talked about a lot of things. Okay, first of all, we talked about success engenders success. We can't stress that enough. Okay, because unless you exude success, if you can say that word, and people think you're successful, then, it's like a smile, okay? Smiles are contagious, success is contagious, okay? It's all about your first moments, that handshake, as Ali said, the way you carry yourself, the way you look, okay? And those first moments are probably the most important. How do you get into the whole stuff that we're talking about? It's about giving value and building relationships. Okay, we can't say that enough, because when you give value, you build relationships, you build trust, and then from trust, people return. How? You got to know your audience. You got to use diet, define, okay, call to action. Okay, by really, implementing, execute, okay, and that doesn't mean you kill the client, okay, that means you help them to get through what they need to do, and that would build trust. And why? Because in today's world, whether you're young, old, okay, semi-retired like some of us, all right, okay, we're up against world competition. This show is in world competition. The Home Shopping Network is in world competition. So we have to find a way, each of us, to get a call to action for the people we build relationships with. Not just to make you better, but to really make the world better and make them better. Okay? And of course, the only way you do that is you got to be a standout, okay? People have to really say, wow, you know what? Okay, that guy, that gal, I want to talk to them again. I want another appointment. I want their phone number, okay? And not to just go on a date, okay? Okay? It's really about, okay, being that standout that, it's like that 30-second elevator speech, okay, that we teach in coaching. You got to give a reason for people to talk to you. That's what being a standout is. You got to find a way to get people to want to be with you, to share your success with you, and to go along the road with you. Is that what we spoke about today?
That was an amazing summation, and I couldn't agree more. It's fabulous, and what a fun experience this has been, Doc Fred.
Oh, I'm so glad. So, Ali, I want you to tell everybody, how can they get in touch with Ali Mang? How, if you got a website, how can they get your book? Okay, how can they contact Ali?
Okay, my website is Ali Mang, ALLIMANG.com. I'm on Twitter at Allison Mang. I have my Facebook photo. Please like me. Ali Mang is my Facebook public profile. And you can get my book, Your First Moment Earns You More Moments, Stand Out in Today's Job Market, on Amazon.com. In Canada, it's Amazon.ca. I also have an audiobook, which I got originally scored. It's an amazing piece. People are loving it. So if you like audiobooks, which aren't normally done, particularly when they're business-related, please enjoy that audiobook. I have another book coming out, My Force of Life, Living Through the Loss of a Loved One, and that will be coming out in April. And I just had such a wonderful time, Doc Fred. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And please send me a line, folks. You can go on my email, my website, and you can contact me through my website. I'd love to hear from you.
Oh, and we would love to hear from you. If you've enjoyed listening to Ali, please go to her website. Give her that message. Say, Ali, that interview was terrific. What can you do for me today? We want this to be a call to action for anybody who's listening. Why? Not because we're here to sell you anything, but because we want to make a difference in this world. We want to know you matter. Okay? And the only way we know you matter is we got to get to know you. We need to build you a relationship. And we want to know as many people in this world as we can. So, Ali, I want to thank you for being on the show. This has been absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure we'll be having you on the show many times again.
It would be an honor, Doc Fred, and thank you again. And as I said, AliMang.com. Send me a line through my contact page, and I'd love to hear from you. Doc Fred, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Remember to go to my website, lifecareerbusinesscoach.com, for more information and assistance you may be looking for. There is a link there for this show, Visions of Success Internet Talk Radio, where you can listen to replays and more interviews on a regular basis. And be sure to subscribe to my monthly newsletter for more great learning and insight. This show airs every Friday and was hosted by amazing Women of Power Radio Network and in conjunction with Raven International Network. Have a great day and you can get it done.